This morning I've looked around and realized there's a lot of things that I need to fix, and I thought it was a perfect time to discuss the topic of fixing things. So if you're new here, my name's Esther and I am a very resourceful person. I want to share that and try and normalize resourcefulness, and I think in this day and age it's actually really needed given the cost of living and the status of our environment. This is a washcloth for the kitchen sink that I use every day, and it's obviously got a hole in it, probably from knives being washed up or cheese graters, probably by my children. I'm not complaining because I love the fact that they're doing dishes and drying dishes, but I'm gonna fix this today. And some people might think, why would you bother fixing something like that? And I mean, there's so many different reasons. One, it's not like you're just purely having to fix an item. You could take it to a friend's house and fix it over coffee. You could fix it while you're waiting for your kids' sport. You could fix it while you're creating a YouTube video. It's not like you just solely have to put all this time into fixing the item. Some people might see that as a waste of time. These little kits, I actually bought this one from Kmart, and it's a great little kit, and I obviously just over time go to secondhand shops and replace things as I need them, but that was $3. So I feel like for the cost of giving this a bigger life, I'm happy to forfeit the $3. And it's not just about monetary factors, although it definitely saves you money being resourceful. It's more about a whole range of things, really. I really want to have more of a relationship with my belongings rather than like a transactional thing. So I do try to care for my belongings, and I do try to make them last. For me, it's not like, oh, look, there's that ugly patch that I sewed up every time I use the washcloth. It's more like, oh, great, I got a bit more life out of it. It didn't just end up in landfill, which is what happens to a lot of our stuff. People also think that it costs you time, as I was discussing before, to fix things. But I mean, reality is it'll cost me time regardless. If I have to go to the shops to buy a new washcloth, that's gonna cost me time. So either way, you're going to give up a certain amount of time. And the other thing about learning to fix things yourself is not only does it give you a sense of reward because you're often learning skills that you may never otherwise have learnt, but you're also getting a sense of accomplishment. Even though it's such a tiny thing, the fact that you had to put effort and thought into it and you had to take the time to mend something means that your brain is going to be using all those networks to problem solve. And that's something we don't do a lot of in today's society. We seem to be a culture now that is used to instant gratification. There has been extensive research done that actually you get deeper satisfaction and a more pleasurable reward from actually a delayed gratification. So that's interesting in itself. And of course, you learn new skills. So if you don't know how to sew a button on, or you don't know how to sew, you can jump on YouTube, you can ask a friend, you can just give it a go. Sometimes we can teach ourselves things just by trying. And it's not going to be pretty because I'm not using the exact color that I should, although I probably do have brown. No, I don't have brown anyway. And, you know, I haven't gone to the effort of really getting every loose end, cutting it off, and then replacing it with a string, which I know you can do. You can make this much prettier, but my goal is not really to make it pretty, it's to make it functionable. There we have it. It is all sewed up. Again, perhaps not pretty, but functionable. Next up are my son's riding motorbike goggles. The screen has sort of just come out. It's just plastic. As you can see, it's come out the whole way around. And if you look a bit closer, all of this has cracked up. I am convinced that they do not make things like they used to. They make things really cheap quality. And I really do believe that some companies purposely do it. So we have to keep going back and consuming. Of course, they're trying to keep their margins low, so they're using cheaper materials. I understand that, but I'm also convinced that it's also a marketing ploy, because at the end of the day, if we don't keep consuming from them, they lose all their profit. So what I'm going to do is glue the inside of this. I'm trying not to get it on the goggles because it may not come off. But that is my first step, a quality glue. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who are just like, oh, just go buy a $20, $30 pair of goggles. In fact, I don't even know how much they are. But I just think the strap's still great. It still has elastic left in it. All the padding is absolutely fine. So to me, it's such a shame just to throw these into landfill just because the inside's a bit cracked up. I also must admit, I do have strong feelings about how we're all living a consumer-driven life, and I really want to opt out. I don't want to be a part of it, and that's just how I really feel. So the more I do things like this, the more we are saying no to just blindly buying and consuming and getting another one. Now this is just an old tube of silicone. I'm actually just going to put it around the edges of the glasses to try and hold it a bit better. But as I was saying before, I actively boycott buying new things. I'm quite passionate about it, to be honest. I really don't want to support companies that are just making us buy cheap things, and once they break, they're hoping we just keep blindly consuming again and again. I try and support companies that are using quality materials, fair labor, and that are making things to last. It's not always possible. In fact, it's getting harder to do as big corporations are buying up and owning the vast majority of retail shops that we are purchasing from. They're sort of under an umbrella. We kind of think that Kmart is separate to Target, for instance, but actually the same people own both the stores. Now, it's not going to be the coolest thing, I guess, for my son if someone discovers that they are jimmied up to be fixed, but let's face it, no one's really going to know. The other thing I did today was on my way to dropping my daughter and her friend off early morning at Aerial Silks, I happened to hit a kangaroo. I mean, we do live in Australia and we've got loads around here. It was bound to happen at some point or another. However, kind of lucky that it only clipped the front of my car, but at the same token, I can't drive like that. I can't drive with this mudguard flapping around. Unfortunately, it just clipped the bumper and I've lost the light, but that's okay. It can be fixed, but I'm going to see if I can at least attach my mudguard up so at least I can drive in the interim between now and getting it fixed. It's a little bit annoying because the clips are actually broken. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, see this bolt here? I'm going to put a washer there, so that's going to hold this from flapping around, and I'm probably just going to wire on this one up here, seeing as the clips are broken and that's why it's flapping. I just don't want that part, the mudguard, to be dragging on my wheel and making it worse. It's not perfect, but it will do. Resourcefulness is also about living within your means, and I just don't think enough people are doing that. People are seriously really struggling out there. They're living week to week. I mean, I can't even imagine the stress of having enough money just to last you 1 week. That would give me anxiety for sure. Anyway, I have not designed my life like that. And I hope in fixing these things that I teach my children to do the same, to live within their means and to make things last, for the fact of developing their own skills, for the fact of caring for the environment and saving money. I want to normalize the fact of, wearing a pair of jeans with a patch in it and wearing some goggles that have been fixed up and wearing hand-me-down clothes. I really think parents feel the pressure of their children wanting something new, wanting the latest and the greatest, which we all know is a very instant gratifying situation. It isn't really what the kid wants. What they really want is to fit in with everyone else. So by normalizing things like this, by saying, hey, this person is wearing a hand-me-down suit, this person is wearing a pair of jeans that have been patched up, we're making it normal. We're saying yes to that's an acceptable thing, and you're still valued just as much as you would have been if you're wearing a new shirt in society. And that's what I want to get across today. So I hope to inspire you and give you some tips for change on how you can live a resourceful life too. I know what you're thinking. Some of you are just like, I'm not going to waste my time. And that's fine. I don't see it as a waste of time. I really, really, truly don't. And I don't think you should either. Number one, you want to extend the life of things so you can keep things out of landfill. The less plastic, the less rubbish that's going to landfill, the better we are as a society, as a whole planet. Number two, there's opportunity in fixing things because we can teach our kids to fix things too, and we can learn lessons from having to fix things. It makes us, what's the word I'm looking for? It makes you be more aware of how you're using something and how you're caring for something. So in terms of this washcloth, I really do think it was a knife or a cheese grater. So potentially the wrong type of material was selected in washing that utensil. So maybe a scrubbing brush should have been used, or a steel wool instead of a washcloth. So that's another lesson I can teach my kids, and that will benefit them for lifelong. Also, just fixing the item itself is another lesson that will benefit my kids. Not only will it help them develop skills, creativity, and innovative thinking, but it will also help them monetary wise and become less of a blind consumer, which is important to me. Number three, don't forget you can multitask. You can do this while you are waiting at the doctor's. You can do this while you are on a phone call. You can do this while you're making a YouTube video. You can do this while you're talking to your kids. You can do this while you're watching TV. There are so many times and moments you can do this. It's not like it's solely dependent on you have to take all this time just to fix this object. It isn't that hard. And if you're making it that hard, you're overthinking it. Number four, personal satisfaction. We really, really do. We are creatures of creativity. So we really do get sense of accomplishment and satisfaction from fixing something. And don't underestimate that. Like, I want to teach that to my kids because I know how good the feeling is for me. I didn't just go to a store and purchase another thing. I had to be resourceful. I had to be creative. I had to come up with what I could use and how I could use it. And maybe it didn't fix the problem, but there's a lesson in that too. Number five, of course, it's saving money. Saving money, something that I think is so important in today's society with the cost of living where it is. This is how me and my husband pretty much paid off our mortgage, by living frugally. I don't like the word frugally because I think it's associated with cheap. Living resourcefully through our entire lives. We have not made awesome salaries. We have not got lucky breaks. It has just been through the everyday, consistent habits of being resourceful. What are your thoughts? Are you a resourceful person? And I think if you are a resourceful person, it's something that once you acquire it, it's really hard to not be resourceful. It's really hard just to throw things away and not fix them once you know the gold that can happen from a little bit of TLC, from a 5-second job. So let me know, are you resourceful? Are you someone who just does this and you've done it your whole life? Are you someone who developed these skills slowly and now benefit from them? Or are you someone who doesn't do this, but you really want to? You can see the benefit in it and you'd like to become that person. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. And of course, if you love this episode and got something out of it, please give me a thumbs up. It really encourages me to make more content like this. Of course, you can subscribe if you want more content. Therefore, the algorithm will push it out so that more people are able to see things like this. Thanks heaps. Bye.